If you're thinking about buying the Osmo or the Osmo Mobile, this is the video you want to watch. In this video, I'll be talking about the differences between the Osmo and the Osmo Mobile. I have both and I've filmed with both, so I know exactly what are the main differences between them. So I'll tell you the pros and the cons of using one or the other. First thing I want to mention, which is a pro and a con, is the Osmo comes with a hard case. So this is cool. You can carry this in your bag. It's padded, you know, and it has a strap to hold it in. It's molded to the Osmo. So this is pretty cool. The Osmo Mobile comes in this box and an extra bag so you can put the mobile in, but the bag is a soft bag, so it doesn't really protect it well. And then when you try to fit it in here, it doesn't fit right, so that's one of the main problems. I'm going to try to fit the Osmo Mobile inside its case with one hand. I mean, that's hard. Just doing it with two hands is hard, but with one hand it's probably going to be impossible. So I'll show you how it doesn't fit too well. So you see here, it's not made like right for it. It should have been a little bit wider, but I guess they wanted it snug in the bag, but who knows. But there it is. So now it's in there, but I mean, compared to just doing this and zipping it up, I mean, come on. So you are gonna have to buy another case for it on eBay or Amazon. The biggest difference between using the Osmo and the Osmo Mobile is obviously the Osmo itself has a camera built on the gimbal, and the handle holds it together, and you can detach this camera and put another camera and upgrade. And the Osmo Mobile, you have to use a phone. So I usually use my iPhone 7, or before I use my iPhone 6, and you fit that in there, and then you have to balance this gimbal. And this one is kind of like pre-balanced, and there's also a balancing calibration option on your app, and it calibrates itself. So that's the main difference, is that this one has its own camera, 4K camera, and then this one you're using your phone. You don't have to use an iPhone, you can use an Android or whatever else, but yes, this one is just a gimbal that holds your phone, and this one is a gimbal with the camera built on it. Here's another difference between the Osmo and the Osmo Mobile. The gimbal itself with the camera has a locking setup. So you see symbols here, this locks up the gimbal, so then that way when you pull it out of the case, it stays locked together, so that's pretty cool. As for the Osmo Mobile, since you're removing the camera, which is actually your phone, it kind of dangles around. There is no locking mechanism, so that doesn't lock in place, so it just dangles around. I don't want to damage it, so I am afraid that you might damage it if you don't, you know, put it back where it's supposed to go. Both the Osmo Mobile and the Osmo, they use the same battery, so that's pretty cool, that you just have to buy one charger and one type of battery, and it works on both. Since they're very identical, they use the same battery, so that's pretty cool. And you don't have to, with the charger, you don't have to plug the Osmo or the Osmo Mobile to charge. All you do is charge it on the charger and you're good to go. The charger is like 10 bucks, so it doesn't come with either one, but it is worth it. So this is what the Osmo Mobile looks like when you have a phone on there. This is the 6 Plus, and I did have to manually balance this, and yeah, it's not too hard to balance. You pretty much just, there's some knobs back here in the back, I'll show you. And what you do is spread this out, and then you open this clamp up and you put your phone in there, and then that's pretty much how you balance it. It's nothing crazy, it's very simple to balance. But the Osmo original pretty much balances itself. The center of gravity is right in here, there's no weight to the side. Pretty much you turn it on and it's pre-balanced, so that's a pro for this Osmo. Another thing, the handle is separate from the gimbal. You can detach the gimbal and upgrade for a bigger camera or better camera. And with the mobile, you're pretty much fixed with this setup here. This doesn't detach, this is fixed. This is all one part, this is two parts. Besides the gimbal here in the camera and the actual phone with the gimbal, the handles are they're identical. They're very identical. There's a couple of differences though. They work the same pretty much in the way they record and shoot photos, but there is a difference here. This one has this little 1/4 inch plug for audio, and this one, the mobile, Osmo Mobile, has a plug here, and that's for charging. That's not for audio, because, you know, obviously you're using the audio from your phone, from your speakers from your phone to grab audio. And this one, since there's no audio here coming out of here, or going into this camera, you have to put an extra mic, external mic to the handle. So this is for audio, this is for charging. So that's pretty much the main difference from the handle. I'm not going to get too specific on the video settings on the Osmo and the app for the Osmo Mobile, but I will say that you're limited with the app you're using for this Osmo Mobile compared to the original Osmo. The original Osmo has a lot more settings. You can change frame rates, you can change color temperature, it has color profiles, you can adjust your ISO. So a lot more you can do with this than with this. But there are apps you can use, like the DJI app that you download for the Osmo Mobile. You're very limited with the frame rate and everything else I said about that. But you can download third-party apps to work with this, and some work with the gimbal, some don't work with the gimbal, but you're still able to use them, and I'll tell you which ones in a minute. So there are a few apps you can use with this thing. You can use the standard app that comes with the phone. There's also the DJI app that you can download for the mobile, but you're limited with that. There's also a couple. I'm going to put them up here so you can see. I'll put the icons. I'm not going to talk too much about the apps, but I will tell you these are the ones you can use. The other one you can use is called ProCam. ProCam is my favorite because it's kind of like using the app for this Osmo, but it's more advanced. You can do all the things I said you can do with this app, the DJI app, but you can do it with that same app. This app is called ProCam, and it's a very good app. I've used it. I've shot a lot of videos, events with it. Very good. The next one is Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro is pretty good because it actually works with the gimbal. You know, you're able to do a lot of things like focus and you open up your iris and stuff like that. But I will say, using that app, it's kind of funky because, you know, you'll try to do something and it'll do something else, you know, and it'll throw you off, and then that kind of sucks. But with the ProCam app, you get what you want, but then there's a problem. You don't have control of the gimbal. You don't have control of the functions like the record here and the shutter. You have to manually touch the screen to focus, to adjust, and that can be bothersome as well, because, you know, you're touching the gimbal and the gimbal kind of like goes crazy, and you don't want that. I don't know, it might mess up the motors, but I've never had a problem doing that because I've been like really careful trying to touch the screen, but it does like bother me compared to using this. I shot an entire video with this setup here, the Osmo Mobile, and you'll see the link here. Check it out, and this is what I did just with this and the ProCam app, and it came out really nice. So I'm about to shoot another video using this thing, so you'll see that in a few weeks. Now, for what everybody's been wanting probably to know is this more stable than this? I will say, by looking at the footage, shooting footage, this Osmo, the original, looks to me a lot more stable than the mobile. The mobile is great, it does look stable, it looks steady and smooth, but I think this one just takes the cake as far as like it being more. This one feels like it's like floating in the air. This one also does, but sometimes you'll get a little jerk or a little bounce. So I will say the Osmo, the original, does look a lot more stable. Next, I'll show you a test video of both. That way you can see kind of like the differences between the video quality of the actual phone you're using and the video quality of the Osmo, and then you'll see how well each one is balanced, and you can decide for yourself which one you think is the better. Alright guys, to finish up this video, I will tell you that the Osmo costs $600 compared to $300, but for $300 more, you do get a lot more with this. And with $300, you do get an affordable setup, very smooth. Video quality all depends on your phone, but yeah, you do get a good setup for $300. So the $300, it is worth it. If you have the 600, I would recommend this. This is a little bit nicer, but yeah, that's all up to you guys. So thanks for watching my video, and subscribe for more videos.